We are not saying we want you to go by yourself, because there's a process, there's a pathway, there's a road to where you're yearning to be. So we go to NINAS is guiding our peoples towards a path of peace. A path of peace. NINAS is already in front because NINAS has done the work. NINAS will tell you the meaning. Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. People have formed alliance before, evil alliance, like 1967 evil alliance that created a monster that is killing the people. So we formed another alliance of the people, honest people, truthful people, God-fearing people, righteous people, to create a bigger monster coming to swallow this monster. You see, we are getting our idea from the Bible, your Bible. When the children of Israel were in Egypt, enslaved, when Moses got there, what happened? His rod became a monster. The enemy also threw their own rod, monster. But the monster of Moses swallowed the monster of the Egyptians. That is how God prevails. God does not walk by ba, 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 ba. No, you're just wasting your time. The essence of prayer, because we're not saying that you don't pray. The essence of prayer is you talk to God and he talks back to you, gives you solution to your problem, and then you go and execute it. You see, you form partnership with God, not just making lazy sound. So NINAS is guiding our people, the various indigenous peoples, towards a path of peace, because there's no peace right now. But NINAS is here. We are not the troublemakers, so we come in peace, and we are coming to bring peace. The peace that passes all understanding. That peace that Christ promised you. Yes, because some of you don't know that human beings are supposed to be in partnership with God to do the word of God, to fulfill the word of God. You think God is going to drop from heaven and come and fulfill his word? No, he will fulfill his word through you. That's why he said, I'm watching to fulfill my word through you. He will fulfill the word, but through you. You listen to us and watching us. You are the one that do the work. God will walk through you. God will enter into man and walk through the man, through humans, to get the job done. So according to the Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, at Punch newspaper 50th anniversary, like my sister said earlier on, and we showed you in the video, Nigeria needs a generally acceptable, fresh protocol of association. You know, these professors, when they drop the word, you know, say, yes, sir. That thing that you said, that's it. It says protocol of association.
Please continue to help us to hit.
Finish it. Protocol of association. Okay, professor, what do I see? That's what we want to do. Through a process of deconstruction, reconstruction, and reconfiguration. He broke it down because he's a professor now. He knows how to teach. So we are just copying to explain to you what he said. Deconstruction is like you have built an evil monster, like we said. We said that what you built is a monster eating your children up. You will not build on top of it if you want to be free. So you have to dismantle that monster. You have to deconstruct it. You what you say earlier, is equal to her on lawyer. Yes, if you know how you built it, you have to unbuild it. So Nigerians, you need to unbuild the monster that you have built. That is what we mean by deconstruction. That's the big word of deconstruction, dismantling. If you know how you built a monster, it's time to remove it. You built a monster on our ancestral lands. Yes, you people built a monster on our ancestral lands. Come and deconstruct it. It's only when you have done that, then we begin to reconstruct. We now say, what do we want to build? Is it low, ground floor, big one, mansion? How many story building do we want? We will now decide by ourselves through referendum and then begin to refigure it. It's not the one, no, that one Ekberima, that one criminal calls himself Benji Siopo. I don't know, Deputy Speaker of Representative of Ndara. He said he will give people in 24 months. Imagine the audacity. There are things that I hear. I'm like, who is next to one marum ya one ora ubola idowai. Because we have anya in our red, our eyes don't red. We don't enter where if you speak anyhow, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. So warn your brothers, so warn your sisters, so warn these people that don't want to hear word. If you speak anyhow, you go see anyhow, because our eyes don't the red. Our children are dying. Like Professor Soyinka said, the politicians all know the truth. They know the truth. But they chose to commit treason against the indigenous peoples of Nigeria, Nigerians. They are the ones. What they are doing is treason. Because we said that they created a monster on our land, stealing our resources, destroying our people. We said, stop. You don't want to stop. You want to continue to uphold it. Lying to yourself. They want to continue to build on lies as the people perish. They know we did not make the 1999 Constitution. They know it. They know we no longer have a federal system that we wanted to build. They know we have departed from the secular states we set out to build. They know that what we have now is feudalism. That is that all men are not equal. And Sharia system, where there's no sanctity of life. Either they burn, they kill, they massacre, whatever they want to do. It doesn't mean anything to them. They know all this truth, but they want to continue to build on lies. You will stop them because they are your brothers and sisters. You see the one I called Benji? Is that not Igbo name? They will always use an Igbo person. But it's time for you, Igbo, to begin to say enough. Where are Igbo youths? Get the youths of Igbo land. Where are you? It's time to begin to tell these people it's no longer business as usual. You're not going to do it anymore. So the question boils down to the matter of what has to be done, by who, when, and how. And NINAS has prepared, did research, did all the work, put everything together. Say this is a template. These criminals will want to take you away from NINAS template. That's what they want to do. They will want to do something else. But we are telling you, don't allow them to do it. Because freedom belongs to you. Sovereignty is yours. So according to NINAS, we the people means the indigenes of the various ancestral lands whose sovereignties have been hijacked. And by sovereignty, we mean their people and their ancestral lands have been stolen and taken away and being mismanaged. We must all accept that we have a fundamental problem and that we must go and solve it ourselves. White man is not coming to solve it for us. Nobody. We will solve it ourselves. We do not have a union yet. We must decide whether we want to practice democracy, be a secular nation, or do we want to live by Sharia and feudalism. We must decide which one we want. It cannot be both of them. You can't eat your cake and have it. It can't be morning and night. It has to be one. Do you want light or you want darkness? You must decide. So we need a fresh protocol of association that will help us determine how we can coexist peacefully. This fresh protocol of association will help us to fix our long-standing fundamental grievances. It will help us to stop the nationwide bloodshed and endless loss of lives. The type of life they lose in Nigeria, they don't even lose it when they're fighting active war.
I know.
This fresh protocol will enable us put a process in place through which genuine leadership will emerge. We don't have that process now. We don't. So NINAS is guiding our peoples towards a path of peace. We want to break the NINAS strategy for self-determination in percentage to you so that you understand. 5% is for intra-regional alliance. That has already happened. That means each region went and then came together, and then we had solemn assemblies, and we told you all that. That has happened. That was just 5%. Inter-regional alliance, when we now had to start discussing with other members of other regions, we are already doing that now. It's ongoing. We are working together. That is another 5%. International imperative, where we had to go outside Nigeria to go and speak to stakeholders, those that came to our land, build some resources. We know that if we start doing anything, or if Nigeria collapses, they will be the one to lose. So they will be confused. They won't know what is going on. So we don't want what happened during the Biafra Nigeria on civil war to happen again. So teams were sent, US Congress, UN, all the stakeholders outside, to tell them this is what is going on and this is what we need to do. That was 5%. It's already done. We are done with it. And then there's what we call constitutional force majeure. It was a build-up to saying no to the 1999 Constitution so that everybody will reject it. And that has happened. We gave that 75%. That's the biggest part of the work. And it's still ongoing, in the sense that after the constitutional force majeure of 16th December 2020, we now enter into the implementation and enforcement phase of constitutional force majeure. So one thing is to do all the assignment that you need to do before you get to that constitutional force majeure. Do it. When you do it, you now begin to enforce it and implement it, and it's step by step. The implementation and enforcement is step by step. That's why it has the whole 75%, because you will be part of that implementation. Because self-determination is the people's right. So somebody else will not do it for you. You'll be part of it. The rest were done on your behalf because you don't really need mass to do it. Taking me to the next section, which is mass mobilization, is also 5%, where you now take this news, this packaging, this proposition, and spread it. Onyenu okaribeya. That's what we say in Igbo land. If you hear, tell your neighbor. If you hear, tell your brother, tell your sister, in the church, in the market, in your organization, alumni, everywhere, hospital, everywhere, anywhere. Tell them, NINAS is right. NINAS is right. Ask your pastors, have you looked into NINAS proposition? If you have not, I will bring one for you. Kudos to one of our, in Edo State, we heard that one governorship aspirant, I think it was one of our brothers here, Isi Momodu. He did a good job in his own village, because we told you people, go to your neighborhood, go to your village and tell them. Those people that used to buy drinks for, as you're buying drink for them, share this message with them. It is your job. He did the work so much that his own people sent a governorship aspirant back to Abuja. He came so that they will support him and he will go and do primaries. As he came, I was telling them, they brought Nina's flyer for him. He said, nah, have you seen this thing that is 1999 Constitution that is holding us? Not you bringing leadership. What have you to say this? I thought you are, and the man is even a professor of law. They say you're a professor of law, so you read, so you know. What are they saying and what role do you have to play? He said, I'll leave that one. When I enter, I will do it. He said, no. We don't want where you enter, you will do it. We have heard that enough. We want it to be done now. The man packed his load and went back because they refused to vote for him. They said, we are not voting for you. We want this 1999 Constitution to go down so that we will be free. That is part of mass mobilization that we're saying. You have to do the job. In your church, every day we'll come and tell you what your pastors and priests and bishops and everything are doing with your destiny. You sit down, you're eating popcorn and eating roasted corn and ube. No. The destiny of your children is at stake. The lives of your children is at stake. You have to go and do the job. That's 5% mass mobilization. So as you build this consensus, because that's part of when you hear us say we are building consensus, because it's everybody that has to be part of it. It's not Ndi Igbo doing it for Ndi Yoruba, or Ndi Yoruba doing it for Ijaw people. No, everybody must be on their ancestral land working. So you mobilize your own people, because if you don't mobilize them, by the time we are free, your own people will still remain under the hands of the evil people that came to colonize them. So the last is transitional government, because those are worried when you bring the constitution down, there will be a vacuum. There's no vacuum. It was done in South Africa. It's been done like other 5 nations since we started this process. So it's transition and it's only 5%. Transitional government is not that the government will continue as usual. They will have limited mandates. They will have limited timeline frame. They will have what they're supposed to do. So they will be told what to do. If it's 6 months, in 1 month, they will be told what to do, and they will be doing it just for them to be paying salaries and so that there won't be collapse while this other one goes on, and then we get a fresh protocol, and then we move to the next level. NINAS is guiding our people towards a path of peace. And this is why we told those that were making noise for the longest time. We know some of you did not go to school, so you were duped. I'm referring now to my brothers in IPOB, Biafran people, Obiwanne, all of you. You keep sucking this thing because you worked so hard in IPOB and you feel, how can I finish working in this thing and it will just go like that? I've worked so hard. It's time for me to get. It's because you don't understand what you are working for. What we are doing is part of this mobilization. It's not going to be different because what you worked for, trying to sensitize our people, there's no structure, there's no strategy, there's nothing that will lead people to the next level. And we are there with you. That's why we know that there's nothing there. All that you're doing is within this 5%. And that's why we say if you come early, now that we are calling, I went to Obi-Wan's show, I told you that you're putting mirinse in the fresh water we are bringing for our people. And I'm repeating it. Anybody that is online, you're saying any other thing apart from NINAS 1999 Constitution, you are just being a criminal, because it shows that what you're doing, that if you continue to call the name of your criminal like Belima that duped our people, then people will be sharing your video and money will be coming into your account. Why our people die? But if we can come together and finish up this thing, everybody will be fine. So we are saying it's still early because we will not forget. We are mothers, we won't forget that we told you. When that time comes, I get a dog in auntie, we'll pull your ear like this for you to know that we told you what to do. NINAS is guiding our people. You have to be part of it. So the 1999 Constitution was imposed on us. We did not make it. Nigerians never made it. We never agreed on it. It was imposed and it's forgery. So that's criminality. We need to end it, not amend it. We give those that are designing all this to credit. We didn't design it. Dr. Truth did not design it. Most of this thing we use, we bring it from NINA's secretariat and we use them because it's part of the campaign. You too can take them and move along and use them. That's why they're being created, so that people can use them and share them, print them into flyers, do what you want to do with it and share to your people. So we need to end the 1999 Constitution, not amend it. You don't amend fraud. If you have a fraudulent passport or fraudulent check, you throw it away, you don't amend it. So we need to take it down, end it. So we need to understand that those swearing to uphold this instrument of backwardness are our enemies. That your enemy is living in your midst. That the ones that are still swearing to uphold the 1999 Constitution, or the one that is telling you that he's going to do it on your behalf, they are your enemies. So those who are supporting or promoting those that are swearing to uphold the 1999 Constitution are part of the enemies. Your church leaders, your social influencers, all of them are your enemies. They are not your friends. Therefore, we need to begin to identify them, criminalize them, and isolate them. ICI. You need to identify them based on what we're telling you now, that they're upholding the 1999 Constitution, they're swearing to make sure that it doesn't go. Like Peter Obi went to Caliphate and told them that he will make sure that nothing happens to 1999 Constitution, that it stays. We told you that they created a monster eating up our people. You say you are swearing to them that you must make sure. So these are your enemies, they're not your friends. We need to begin to identify them. We have given you. How do you identify them? Anyone saying that 1999 Constitution is what they want to swear, be it your governor, be it whatever, they are your enemy. Identify them. Criminalize them. They are criminals because the 1999 Constitution is a fraud. So upholding it is crime, is criminality, is treason against the people, because the people did not make it. So it is a crime. So they are criminals. And then when you get criminals, you arrest them, isolate them, and put them. And amapu ha amapu nobodo. In Igbo culture, when we isolate, when we identify and bring out criminals, we isolate them. We don't interact with them. We give them matches in my culture because in those days we take light from one another. So we give them matches so that they will go away from our community and go and live their life somewhere because they are criminals. They will never be part of what we are doing. They will not help the community to grow. So that's why we isolate them. And that's the thing we are telling you to do. We are not saying go and do something and commit crime. No, no, no. That's not what we're saying. You don't use crime to deal with crime. We say isolate them. Don't have anything to do with them anymore. Stop praising them. Stop recognizing them. Move them away from what you're doing. When you do this, you are part of these three things: enlightenment, mobilization, enforcement, because that's where we are. Enlightenment, telling people the story and explaining it the way we are explaining. Mobilizing people as people are saying, yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. They join the camp. They join the camp of NINAS. So we begin to bring camps of NINAS. Then when we are now, as we are building the consensus, we are strong enough intellectually, physically, and otherwise, then we enforce it. We don't need anybody to enforce it for us. We, the people, we enforce it because it's the people's right. Self-determination is the people's right. Thank you very much. I'll allow my sister to finish on.
Thank you. All right. So here's Nina's proposition. There's no need for me to read them all out. We sort of explained some of those things today throughout the show. By now, we should be getting it. The whole purpose of sharing this Nina's proposition is for you to get it, for it to sink in. So hopefully, we are getting there as our House of Assembly is now agreeing that NINAS is right, that the Constitution is a fraud. Our church leaders or leader, well, at least I saw one, that is saying that, the Constitution is a fraud, Nigeria is a fraud. So we need you to begin to say the same thing, that Nigeria is a fraud. And there's no way a fraud, you can benefit from a fraud, or very soon you will get arrested. And we also reminded you that God will bless no mess. So Nigeria is a mess, and no amount of yari, 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 and blah, 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 blah will bless Nigeria. For us to move forward, we must embrace the NINAS template. The work has been done. The Christmas present is at your door. All you have to do is to open the door and embrace it so we can move. All right, so our announcements as usual. Spotlight on our wisdom, on the wisdom of our ancestors. That's still loading. It's coming. Our sister is doing a great job. They are ever showing up once a day to teach our people one thing or the other. You can also sign up for the NINAS newsletter. Our sister Ndidi does a marvelous job in breaking things down. So sign up for the NINAS newsletter. Go in there, put in your email. As she drops them, it comes to your email easily, and then you can share with others. Information is how we're going to get where we're going. If our mothers were able to do it during the About Women, with all the PM we're doing, we should be able to get the work done. And of course, on Tuesday is our Twitter day. NINAS is right. We stand with NINAS. Transition now. And we learn more by going to ninasvoice.org, the Daughters of Truth, as well as we insist on transition now. And once again, if you are listening to us on a daily basis, if we are sending you information and all you do is to watch it, to say, learn on there, how are they going to do it? You are part of the witch and the wizards that are, eating our people. You are part of the colonial monsters that will never allow our people to move forward. We're saying our people are dying. You're busy buying land and building homes, thinking you're going to be a landlord. A landlord in the land of where? Let's put hands together and get this work done. Until next week, we shall return. Stay safe. Mucho love. Bye-bye.